that we will just talk about our story on the COVID impact and what we did. So we saw about COVID's impact on CTM, talking about the way we conduct meetings, about COVID impact in your personal life. Let's talk about that. So first thing, office. Office became work from home, and there was a complete disappearance of boundaries. So it was back to back working from home, and in between homework, you will do work from home. So it is like jumping across here and there. I'm sure all of you have been through this thing. And apart from that, for those who had kids, I'm sure you'll be astonished with the kind of, the way the teachers are teaching to the children. Most of the parents used to think their children are being taught very good things by the teacher. But then I saw an article in Hindu which said many parents were shocked that the teachers didn't know how to speak English. So the truths behind schools have come out. So these were the kind of things that all parents were facing. And then, thirdly, I recollect one Toastmaster who was feeling so bad. He was saying in a meeting, all our maids left. I'm like, what, your girlfriend left? No, my maid left me. That is the kind of feel everyone had. Maids not being around, doing your chores, morning to evening, working, taking care of children. Oh my God. Suddenly, the workload of common man just skyrocketed. But still, we Toastmasters, even with all that work, we went there on Sunday, 4 to 6, giving a prepared speech, doing that, everything. So that is the power of Toastmasters. Now, moving on to the next segment, it will be the quote and idiom master. I'm sorry, I'm searching for my phone, and I realized my phone is the one that I'm seeing. So now the next one on the agenda would be idiom master. Okay, sorry, the quote master Prashanti. Over to you, quote master Prashanti. Take it out of the room.
Yes, Abhirami, thank you so much. Good evening to everyone. Today, my quote will be related to mistakes. When we start doing any activity or start doing any work, we feel like, will it be possible? Our mind we start questioning like, is it if any mistakes will happen or any impacts will be there, we'll start caring about the mistakes. So if you stop our questioning ourselves, uh, then that will, the action will be better than questioning. Um, Quote is, mistakes are proof that you are trying. Quote is written by Jennifer Lim. Thank you so much. Over to you, Abhirami.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prashanti. Next, we will have our idiom master, Toastmaster Pankaj, who will be presenting idioms for us today. He'll be joining us via Zoom. Spotlight Toastmaster Pankaj.
Yeah. Abhirami coming here. Okay. Abhilash.
He froze.
Hear me?
Say something.
Okay, great. So, good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests. And very good to see some of you all in the stage, even though I couldn't able to see you all. So I thought of doing an activity, then I can just go ahead with the idiom, but I can start with one idiom so we can just cover it up due to this technical issue. So if someone asks me, stating, can you just come for an party? I said, let me sleep on it, and then I will tell you. So here, the idiom used is sleep on it. It means let me score in the evening or tonight, and I will tell you tomorrow morning. Thank you, Virami. I'm not sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Kanwat. A big round of applause. We are done with our idioms and quotes session. Now next, before we move on to our prepared speech segment, let's talk about the good things about COVID. We were always talking about what was difficult and how we struggled. In life, it is always a coin has two sides. And I believe the the good comes along with the bad. The bad comes first. And it's through the bad when we manage the challenges that we bring the good out of ourselves. Now, over to you all. What was it? So we were all back at home, very, very busy, doing the cleaning, taking care of kids and everything from home. But what did that do to us? That made us think and to prioritize things. For the first time, our skill planning and prioritization, I could see being more enhanced. Unless and until you learn to prioritize, you will never be able to get it. First. Second, spending time with family. I think the number of meals that we had with our family members increased, double, triple. For the first time, we started knowing our family members well. Isn't it? How many of you started finding new things about your mom or your dad or your brother, your wife, whoever? Some would have been happy, some would have been shocked. That's okay. But yes, we know about our people. Knowing about the people is very important, whatever it is. And it's when you know about things and you're more aware, that's when you make the best decision. Apart from that, what did we do in COVID? Doing all small things like coloring, pottery, cleaning, whatever we wanted to do, because we had no choice to travel. We had no choice to run away. Most of us, when we get too tired or sad, we just want to leave a place and go somewhere. But now there is no option. You're at your place and you have to manage your back. That was a way to self-explore, to know more about what I really want and to see where I want to go. With this, let's move on to the next segment, the prepared speech segment. And the first speaker for today is an eminent speaker. He's a guru of voice modulation, and he's a man who has won a lot of awards. One of them is the Advanced Communication Gold. The list of awards is so big that I was struggling to understand which one is a top award. Then I managed to pick one out of it and say it over here. Now, before I call upon Toastmaster Venu to continue to give his speech, let me request his evaluator, Toastmaster Shrikant, to read out his project objectives. Over to you, Toastmaster Shrikant. He's joining us via Zoom.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Toastmaster Venu is presenting his second speech from the path Effective Coaching. The project is High Performance Leadership. There are a couple of objectives for his speech this afternoon. One is for him to apply his leadership and planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, and implement the plan with the help of a team. The next objective is for Toastmaster Venu to share some aspect of his experience completing the project. Toastmaster Venu has 5 to 7 minutes at his disposal for his presentation. Wish you all the best, Toastmaster Venu. Back to you, Toastmaster Abhirami.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Shrikant. Now, we request Toastmaster Venu to come up on stage.
Hello, good evening, brother. I'm really happy to be the first ever speaker of this hybrid meeting. And I hope you all. I'm audible. Am I audible? And because I'm currently audible to those who are sitting in front of me, but I don't know whether I am audible or I'm really sorry for my evaluator who is going to struggle because of my pneumatic movement. It's not my mistake. It's a mistake in the network. I observe me properly. High performance leadership, right? how many of you high performance? Only 2 or 3 here. So it's my duty to explain, even though I explained it very clearly in my first page. Now also let me do it. High performance leadership is one of the project in level 4. Here we need to complete a project. Before that, we have to form a team and a guidance committee. So at the end of the project, after having successfully completed the project, I have to deliver the second speech. That's what I'm doing now. For this HPL, I took a speech craft as one of the project. Most of you know that what is speech practice. It's a 8-week program. Here, participant, we have to train the participants for the 8 weeks and involving all the knowledge of communication as well as leadership skills. At the end of 8 weeks, showcase them, they will deliver, they will showcase their skills. So we conducted speech craft at Sassoon College for the professors. So it was so successful. Before how successful it was explaining everything, let me first of all express my gratitude to my team. From the college, Sassoon, I like to thank Dr. Santosh and Gayatri, Mrs. Rekha, and from Toastmasters side, my team, Toastmaster Nadira, over area director, and Dr. Pais, Toastmaster Syed, Toastmaster Srikant Krishna, Toastmaster Aishwarya also helped me a lot. So this team thankfully was possible to successfully complete this speech craft. Now, one of the challenges we faced, I clearly mentioned in my first speech that one of the mission and vision. The mission was involve all the participants every week and make them complete all the 3 speeches, deliver all the speeches and all the project objectives that they done very successfully. And vision is to make them a successful speaker and to help them to develop their communication skill as well as leadership skill. We succeeded. But many challenges we face. I'd like to find out only 3. The first one is 15 are doctorate, PhD. The majority of the participants are HODs, just imagine putting them on a learning platform, having more than 20 years experience in teaching field, it would be a big challenge for us because we had to be very cautious and sensitive to handle their leaders. So anyhow, they were so for their helping us to help them. So we helped them to teach how to teach. So that was successfully we did. And second challenge was the COVID. So most of these sessions we completed in person. Unfortunately, the COVID, because of COVID, we did not complete the remaining 2 sessions. So I think this is one of the record-breaking speech craft because this is the 1 year. Mostly it's in 8 weeks or 9 weeks, but we had 1 year speech craft at Sassoon. So anyhow, we conducted. There is the own saying: be firm in your goal, but be flexible in your method. We adopted the flexible method and we conducted the online session and we completed the entire speech craft program. And last month we conducted along with Toastmasters Nadira and Paisli completed the session speech craft there. How successful it was. I want to state 4 things. The first one is Dr. Mani. It was so important. He had a lot of inferiority complex, he had a lot of stage fear, but he had to attend one seminar. Where he had to do this. But she dedicated the success to speech craft. She informed the principal madam that because of speech craft, she would attend these group discussions successfully and she would speak. And another incident I want to state is one participant, Dr. Dita, she asked her son to deliver a speech at home. The little boy who happened to attend witnessed 2 sessions at speech back. He asked his mother, whether I should talk like an ordinary way, or I want to talk like a Toastmaster. That made Geeta Madam asked you to speak like a toast. You will be that little boy who's the gestures and voice modulation. She mentioned that was success of the speech graph. Above all, the principal madam, she particularly mentioned that she wanted another speech graph and she's asking for the administrative stuff because she felt that she witnessed the outcome of the speech graph. So these are the outcome of the skills graph. At this point of time, I want to express my gratitude to my guidance committee. So I have the person in my guidance committee, Dr. Smita, Toastmaster Vijayaraju, Toastmaster Ram. As per the technical development, I had to meet them 5 times. I did online, and we have a lot of, they helped me a lot to complete this project. At last, successfully completed the project, and I'm insisting them to start a club also. So very soon we can expect a club at South College. I hope you will also help me, and you will also ask to start. Thank you for the opportunity.
Abhirami,
We all got an
yeah. Abhirami, can you see if using the actual mic will help you with the audio, please? Using the mic.
that is causing some extra problem now. Maybe I can come a little near so
Yeah,
that
please do that because everyone's having this problem. Yeah.
When we
sure,
do
ma'am,
our
sure. I'll be a little more loud.
1 second. Yeah, is that James? Yeah.
I was just going to say that in our experience, the main microphone that we use is, for example, if the Zoom account is on the laptop, we use that microphone. Any other microphones, even if you mute it or turn the volume all the way down, with other devices, there will be echoes and reverb. So to stop that, if someone else is in the same meeting, but they're in that room, they would have to plug in physical earphones in the plug on their device to cancel out multiple microphones. So you only want one microphone. And also, if there is a little bit of lag, the best thing you can do is speak slower and enunciate the words more slowly and clearly. That's my
Thank you,
suggestion.
James. Awesome. Thank you, James. Abhirami, you got that? Yeah, turn off all the other devices and
But I think
talk into this laptop. Yeah.
I think we will not be implemented at this point. We will sort it out with the coming meeting now. So now I'll try to pull the mobile input. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Getting back to the meeting. Thank you, Toastmaster Venu, for a very informative speech. It's more about the speechcraft for all of us who do not know what speechcraft is. And it is very good when you said that you need to have a firm goal, but you can have a flexible method. And that's what we'll also follow for the upcoming meeting together audio sort. Now we'll have on stage our next speaker. He is a senior Toastmaster associated with the club for the last 3 years, and he's working in software. So before I call him upon stage, before I call upon Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana on stage, request his evaluator Toastmaster Nanda to read up his project objectives.
Good evening, everyone. Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana Twins Level 1 Project 2 from Presentation Mastery Part. The purpose of the project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. The purpose is also to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from the first speech. Timer please for the time 5 seconds. All the best, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nanda. So let's have Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana on stage Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, ride safe, wear helmet. Ride safe, wear helmet, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana.
Thank you. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and my dear friends and friends to Zoom meeting. Exactly 2 years back, one of the close relatives was riding a moped, and when he was reaching the junction at slow speed, he was hit from behind by a car, and he lost his balance and fell down and banged his head on the road. He immediately lost his consciousness and started bleeding nose and ear. He was in hospital for a few days in coma stage, in spite of spending lakhs of money, 2 lakhs of money for him. He didn't recover, he died in within 1 week time. Had he had a helmet, on that particular day, he would have been living even today. Do you know 6,000 people in road accidents are bikers with no helmets? According to World Health Organization, non-usage of helmet is one of the 5 most risk factors in road safety. I used to insist on my friends and colleagues to wear helmets when they use a motorcycle. Some listen to me and many ignore me. When I was trying to research to the topic, like why people don't wear helmet, I got few reasons, and some of them I consider as excuses and not reasons. The first excuse is it is very hot outside. I might sweat inside and may lose my hat. For the air is more important than it. The next excuse is I don't have clear vision. Maybe they didn't wear the helmet in the right day. The third excuse is by more confident riders who say, I've been riding motorcycle for several years. I've never met with any accident. I don't need a helmet. And the most obvious excuse we get is there is no police checking the route where I travel. For the helmet is only for legal reason, not for safety reason. So whatever the excuse it may be, it's not safe to ride a motorcycle without helmet. You can ignore all these excuses if you're really a responsible person, a responsible citizen, and a responsible family man. Wearing helmet actually reduces the severity of injury, the probability of death, and hospital expenses. The reason is the points inside the helmet actually protect your skull and your forehead. So, my hope is straight and deep. So, what kind of helmet is legal in India? I'm talking specifically India. According to the recent notification from Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, they state that from 1st June of 2021, you need to wear a helmet with ISA mark. That's what I'm trying to show you here. So for your information, the ISA mark actually certifies the product that conforms to the standards set by Bureau of Indian Standards. So now let's see how to choose the helmet and how to wear it. My first suggestion is please don't buy helmet online. Please visit a physical store, try out different models of helmets and check which suits you perfectly. So when you choose a helmet, ensure the helmet covers your forehead and does not expose up and doesn't come below your eyebrow so that you don't miss the vision. So the helmet should be exactly covered above your eyebrow to protect your forehead. And one most important suggestion I would give is please choose a full helmet. The one they showed me. I want to tell you a real incident which happened in my office just a few months before the lockdown. One of our staff, a girl, was riding a motorcycle in the parking slot. When she was trying to get in the ramp, she slipped and fell. and she had multiple fractures on her face. We formed a team to understand the reason, and I was one of the team. The first reason we found is the bottom slab is very slippery because the concrete is very low. And adding fuel to it, the car which went before had split, and that way she slipped and fell down. But what surprised a lot is, in spite of she very movement and riding very slowly, she had a fracture. After further investigation, found two reasons. The first one is she was not wearing a full helmet like what I showed. It was a half helmet that the chin lower jaw was exposed. When she fell down, she actually got hit on the chin, and because of the impact, the helmet flew away from her, and it was damaged her face, and with more fractures. So the first mistake is not wearing a full helmet, and the second mistake is she didn't put a strap, like what we see here. So wearing helmet is incomplete without your chin strap. So remember to wear a chin strap. I just give instruction on how to wear a chin strap. Ensure that the lever of the chin strap is exactly below your earlobe. Tighten your strap in such a way that your only two fingers can slip through between the chin and the strap. So, according to the World Health Organization's safety report, wearing helmet actually reduces 40% of death and 70% of severe injury. So, my dear friends, Toastmasters and guests, I request you all to wear helmet when riding two-wheeler. Be safe, ride safe, and enjoy your ride. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshminara. That was a very informative speech. A lot of information on life-saving things. Just a small thing, a helmet is going to save your life. And that's what we neglect most of the times. Now, talking about the next part of our discussion with COVID. What did we learn? What are the lessons that we learned? First thing, small things are big. That's what the Jess told. The small thing, a helmet can save a life. Similarly, small good practices would have avoided a pandemic like COVID. It could have been avoided completely, but a very small mistake resulted in all this. So that's when it's very important for all of us to give importance to all the basic small rules that we are taught. Because at the end of the day, the small things are indeed the big things. Also, another one thing that I would like to share, what I personally learned from this whole COVID experience, the attitude of gratitude. When COVID initially started, I was very irritated with the amount of work that I was handling, work from home, doing things from home, couldn't go out, a lot of complaints. But after reading the newspaper, after some time, after a break, I realized there are a lot of people who are struggling to meet their basic necessities. There are daily laborers who are struggling to find job. Finding job, you can't go out at all in the first place, and taking care of your family. And that way I realized how much blessed I am. So the attitude of gratitude is something that's very, very important for us. This is one thing that COVID has taught us. Now, moving on to the next segment, I think we have the TT topic session, which is an in-round speaking session. And for that, we have our table topics master, Toastmaster Vignesh. Now, you should have known Toastmaster Vignesh is. He's a recent member and he joins us from Bangalore. Thanks to COVID, we started having members joining us across the world. And now, over to you, Toastmaster Vignesh. Before that, let me just give a small introduction about him. He's from Bangalore and works for a software company. And he's been very quick in turning around all the roles that he's been taking in the last couple of weeks. Over to you, Toastmaster Vignesh. Toastmaster Vignesh, you join us.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. Now we have come to the most exciting and entertaining challenging session. Now we will begin. Um, in this session, so only in table topic session, guest also can be participate. So guest and everyone is most welcome to participate in this session. So who will be the volunteer for the first question? Any volunteer?
Are we supposed to ask a question or is it an answer you see?
Started the end.
Sorry, Abhirami. Did you say anything? Hello. I will going to ask a few or some question. So you have to answer you have to reply for that question. So it's an impromptu speech. So anyone from guest or Toastmasters will be welcomed to participate. So whoever comes first, any volunteer, please come.
Just so you know, in Canada and in the United States, we often say there are no volunteers in table topics, just victims. So people never volunteer. In North America, no volunteers. They're only victims.
Understood.
Toastmaster Vignesh, this is Jimmy Patros. I'll take the first one.
Thanks. Great, Jimmy. The first question for you is: you are an alien from other planet. What's your say on seeing humans on Earth? You are an alien from other planet. What's your say on seeing humans on Earth?
All right. A very good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. That is indeed a hypothetical question. I remember the movie PK, where an alien landed in the Earth and how he found the way of functioning in this Earth is very logical. And that was a lot of that movie gave a lot of insights into what are the wrong ways that we are leading our life or the way of conducting ourselves. So as an alien, if I look at the Earth, definitely for the very first time, I'll be amused the way it is. It looks very colorful, noisy, and yeah, so I actually would love to take a fresh look at the world than having a prejudiced mindset. I would love to look at the world in an alien angle, because that gives you a different perspective of things happening here. Why it is happening this way, and what are the better ways it can happen. So I think that will be a good thing, and I would like to guide people in the Earth on how it looked like and what is the best way of taking things forward, or give some newer ideas. Yeah, quite a hypothetical question, TT Master. I'm not able to think much. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, Jimmy. It's a great reply. Thank you. Who will going to be the next victim for TT?
So can I volunteer for the next victim?
Yeah. Thank you, Iqbal. Second question is: consider you are one of the astronaut in SpaceX crew. You want to be the first human to walk on Mars, like Neil Armstrong on the moon. How will you convince Elon Musk? Consider you are one of the astronaut in SpaceX crew. You want to be the first human to walk on Mars, like Neil Armstrong on the moon. How will you convince Elon Musk?
Okay. Can I start? Vignesh, can I start?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, Iqbal, you can start.
Well, let's just say Elon Musk is sitting right in front of me, and I'm going to go, Elon, please, I want to be the first astronaut on Mars. I want to be that person. You have invested so much of time, money, and personal interest. You have stayed away from family. You have given the entire world a reason to think beyond what is the ordinary. This is extraordinary. Let me be the first man to walk on Mars, and I'll make it worth your time. I'll carry cameras all over my body and provide you all the data you need, visual and analytical data. And most importantly, Elon, why you should consider me for the first man on Mars to walk on Mars is because it's going to take a long time for us to get to Mars, quite some time at least. We may or may not have fuel to come back. So I'm prepared for that eventuality, for the betterment of mankind and for your money also. Return on investment. Remember, we're all businessmen here, especially you are. So you want someone to go there and be there for some time and do something so that you and your shareholders can, make the buck for at least for the next rocket to come to me and pick me back. I'm willing to take that chance for you, Elon. So I think that's a very convincing pitch that I'm willing to stay there for some prolonged time so that you can prepare something for me to get back. And that's why you should pick only me. My name is Iqbal Yaqub. I'm from Chennai. Pick me, Elon. Please pick me. Thank you.
Great, Iqbal. Amazing. Who is the next victim for the TT? Any volunteer? Victim, please come forward.
I'll volunteer, but normally I would never volunteer. I wait to be a victim. It means you
Thank
pick
you,
me.
James.
It means you pick me. I have no choice.
With the cloning technology, you got a of yourself. How will you react with your clone? With the cloning technology, you got a clone of yourself. How will you react with your clone?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. Audio check. Can everyone hear me clearly? Fellow members and welcome guests, cloning. We live in such a crazy world. I can hear audio noise in the background. Someone might want to mute any open mics because that can cause issues. Whoever's a co-host, you can mute that. Anyways, continue on. Cloning. We live in such a crazy time. What I find is that when it comes to cloning, if I had a clone of myself, you probably would all agree, you're so busy in your lives that you could easily have 2 or 3 clones of yourself. And I don't know what interaction I would have with my clone, or more than one me, because I would have them so busy helping me do different things. I would have one clone attending Toastmaster meetings. I'd have another clone cleaning the house. I would try to free up my time by giving them things to do. And if someone said, oh, will you do table topics? Will you take the table topics question? I would have a clone ready. So I would literally turn the camera off, turn the camera back on, and here would be my clone doing the table topics question. I think that we're living in a world today where we're consuming the resources of the planet. They say that Earth, the way we're consuming the planet, we could use 4 or 5 planet Earths in order to bring the quality of life, the living, better for everyone on the planet. 7 billion people on the planet. For everyone to have a better life, we would need 5 planet Earths. Well, I probably would need 5 clones just for the day-to-day life. So I must say that I don't see the timer. I'm not sure, don't see the timer in front of me, but when it comes to cloning, I think we all probably could use some extra help. And what would be better if you had someone to help you than to have a clone of yourself helping you? Who would understand you better than yourself? Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you, James. Who will be the next volunteer?
என்னன்னு தெரியாது நமக்கு, அடிப்படையே தெரியாது. என்ன சட்டம் தெரியுமா, ரூல்ஸ் தெரியுமா, என்ன பண்ணுறது? வாலிபால் ஆடிட்டு இருக்கும்போது தான் பார்த்தேன் பசங்களை.
Yes, I'm Saranya, so I can take it up.
Yeah, sure, Saranya. If you have a technology to read a people's mind, then whose mind you will read first and why? If you have a technology to read a people's mind, then whose mind you will read first and why?
Okay, who's okay. Usually, okay. So, whose mind I would read first? So, mostly we work in office, right? I work in Fidelity Investments. So usually we try to read our manager's mind, even though they talk to us friendly, but we really don't know like what they will think of us when they assign a task, whether they will have that idea or confident whether we will complete it or not. So we will not be able to get that what they are exactly thinking. Or even in like if we have a one-on-one meeting, right? There used to be like lot of positives coming from them regarding us, but we will not have aware of like what really they are thinking of us. So mostly like the higher officials who assign us work, right, when we finish it off, we will not be aware like whether they are 100% satisfied or happy with us, even though they tell us for motivating us. So if I am given an opportunity to analyze a person's mind, it will be really my manager's mind. Thank you, table topic master.
Thank you, Saranya. Who will be the next to volunteer?
Toastmaster Vignesh, we have a couple of volunteers from here. Physical venue, we will.
Vignesh, I think Toastmaster Abhirami is asking like if we can take anybody from physical venue.
Yeah, sure. Abhirami, can. Yeah, anyone can please. Please come forward. I will let you know the question.
Yeah. Request. Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Vignesh, I think meanwhile we can have another person from online Zoom.
Yeah, sure, Ranju. Any volunteer from online? Any guest?
Excuse me, can you guys tell us if you can see anything?
No.
Is the physical meeting online or not? Are you able to see?
Nadira, we are not able to see. There is only a black screen.
Okay. That's one here, but then not able to.
Is something covering the camera?
Yeah, we switch camera.
Hello. We cannot able to see properly. Sorry, I cannot get you.
Vignesh, we will go ahead as you were asking the volunteers.
Any volunteers, please?
Nina John.
Hi, yeah. If you have, Yeah, yes, Nina ma'am, for you. If you have a technology to erase an incident from people's mind, then which incident and from whom and from whose mind you will erase first? If you have a technology to erase an incident from people's mind, then which incident and from whose mind you will erase that first?
Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters. This is a really tough question. What are the incidents that I would erase from people's minds and whom would I erase it from? My first reaction was, oh, I will do this. I'll let my kids have only the happy memories from their childhood and erase all the unhappy memories, or any of my friends or colleagues. And then I had a second thought. Our life is made up of memories that are both good and bad. And it is both the bad and the good memories that add up to our experiences in life. We learn so many lessons from what we could regard as bad experiences, and there is so much happiness that we derive from the positive experiences. So I think for a good balance in life, we should not erase any of the memories, and we should live life as it is, no regrets, unless we have hurt someone deliberately. That is something I would definitely try to erase from my history. And I hope I have not done that. So I would say, no, I don't want to erase anybody's memories. Let's go with the good and the bad. Enjoy life as it comes and hope other people's memories of you are happy memories. Back to you, Vignesh.
Thank you, DTM Leena Jan. Next volunteer, please, from physical event or Zoom.
Hello, Vignesh. Srikanth here.
Yeah, Srikanta, one second. Toastmaster Srikant, what are your thoughts if you are a tree in the roadside? What are your thoughts if you are a tree in the roadside? Toastmaster Srikant.
Thank you very much, Vignesh. There is only one thought as a tree for me, being the roadsiders. I would provide shade both for the traveler as well as for the woodcutter. The woodcutter who's going to chop away branches from me is also a person who's going to get the shade from me. I'm not going to deny shade to him. And the passerby or the traveler on his way who wants to rest under the tree, take a nap, get back his energy levels high, I'm going to provide. And this literally is the living principle of my life, is to give rather than take from others. Even if the situation is bad, if somebody has done anything wrong to me, I'm not going to try and get even with them. And I don't want to carry a bad memory of that person, but I really want to get back to him in good terms. Why? Because this gives me a fulfillment in life, and it also avoids the bad blood caused by resentment. And by providing this kind of attitude to one another, I feel the world would be a better place for each and every one of us, because I believe the more you give, the more you get. And the tree is a great example of those wisdom of giving more and getting back equally more than what you have given. Give to all and give your shade to others, so that you leave behind a legacy where everyone can at least think about you for what you have done to this generation that you are. and for people to remember that you have walked on this planet Earth and have done something worthwhile. Thank you. Back to you, Vignesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srikanth. Two more questions. Abhirami, can I continue or it's time to, can I continue or close it? I have two more questions. So can I proceed or?
I can volunteer, Vignesh.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Tell us few things that the world would miss without computers and internet. Tell us few things that the world would miss without computers and internet. Toastmaster Ranju.
Yeah, thank you, TT Master. So, and good evening, everyone. So, the things that the world will miss without computers and internet. Well, what will work in this world without computers and internet? That is the question we have to ask. Not some things which the world will miss. Even this hybrid meeting that we have, it will never be possible. Or even during pandemic, it would never be possible for us to meet online if computers and internet was not available for us. If you asked so recently I was reading this book called Sapiens. Okay, so I completed that, and in that actually it speaks a lot about how humankind has actually came through the generations from our stone age to the now present world where computers and internets are far and it is more reaching. And it talks about a future where even our brain will be controlled by AI, and we will it will lead to the extinction of Homo sapiens. That is where our human is heading. That is like the possibility that are being shown. So I think the computer internet are everything for us at the moment, and the entire corporate sector is like working on internet, and it without nothing would be possible. So I think that is the conclusion for this question. Without it, nothing is possible, and we would be having to live with it for much larger time. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ranju. One more question. Any volunteer, any guest? Guest, please come forward.
When you
Yeah.
Toastmaster Abhirami.
Yeah, Vignesh, is the table topic session completed?
Yeah, I have one more question, but so Abhirami asked me to participate on the physical event, right? So that
Yeah, currently we are facing
Or-
some technical issue with the physical meeting. So if you could take another volunteer from.
Hey, hi Vignesh. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vignesh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you please say your name?
I can't hear.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
This is Rohit from Physical Venue.
Yes, Toastmaster Rohit. Toastmaster Rohit, can you hear me?
Yes.
Could you please spotlight this particular host bar timer, please? Zoom Master.
Toastmaster Rohit, if you have a technology to time travel to go to the past, which year will you go and why? If you have a technology to time travel to the past, which year will you go and why? Toastmaster Rohit.
Thank you, Table Topic Master Vignesh. If we have a technology for time travel, wow. There are so many things you can do, so many things you can change. We all wish for, we might change our lives, we might change our history, we might change what happened with us. So if we had technology for time travel, for me, I would like to change few things which have happened in my life. So, like I had a bad first marriage, and that's something which, if possible, if I had time travel, I could go back there and then erase that entire page from my life. But these are the technologies which we keep wishing, but these are not real things. So we have to live with what life gives us, and we have to make best of it, and we have to go ahead with it. So that's what we will say, that if we can keep wishing of time travel, but that's not going to happen. So let's make best of what we have and then get ahead with our life and do best of what life gives us. Thank you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rohit. Now I hand over control to Toastmaster Abhirami. Thank you, every participants. Thank you very much.
So now, thank you, Toastmaster Vignesh, for a fabulous table topic session. Now I'm in the venue, but still I feel like I'm connecting separately via Zoom. Going on to the next segment, which will be the evaluation one. To talk a little more about our COVID theme, one thing was the pressure that we were managing all through. Now, how do we cope up with that pressure? So who's going to bail us out of all the situation? Thinking through, I realized the person who's going to save me is the woman in the mirror. So for each one of us, the person who's going to bail us out is just us, the superhero or the heroine. We will have to figure out what is best for us. It may just be a half an hour morning walk that will make your mind all enlightened and active, or it may be a half an hour of singing or even coloring or swimming, whatever it is. It is up to you to figure out where your passion lies and focus and make yourself happy. With this, let's move on to the next segment, which is the General Evaluator segment. For this, let me call upon Toastmaster Aishwarya.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. All right, anyways, thank you to the Zoom audience as well. So I mentioned that I have a second team whom I'll be introducing in the later part, I said. So they're nothing but the speech evaluators. And today we had two speakers who gave the speeches, and now it's time to evaluate their own speeches. So now to call upon a first speaker, he was Toastmaster Venu, and he has presented a speech on his HPL. And to evaluate his speech, we have an eminent Toastmaster, Toastmaster Srikant Kuttikrishnan. To say a few words about him, he is a central government servant working for like 30 years at Indian Railways, and he is like the senior most person here at Chennai Toastmasters Club. So Toastmaster Srikanth Kuttikrishnan, handing over the control to you.
Good afternoon once again. Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Venu Neelakandan, your ability and skill as a good leader has been well implemented, rather organized and implemented in the most precise way by organizing a speechcraft at Shashan's College. The way you conceive the idea of having a speechcraft and how to get it implemented, especially during these challenging times that we are facing, is very commendable. You had all the details in your mind. You wanted them to be implemented, but there were certain hiccups when you started implementing them, and you overcame that only by the vision and the confidence that you had that you could overcome those obstacles. And to say something more about that was your supporting team. You had a well-organized team who were going all out and helping you to deliver that high performance leadership necessity of being a good organizer, a leader with a vision and a plan and a team to implement that. It was very well done, Toastmaster Venu Neelakandan. And also your experience and challenges that you faced in your entire time of this speechcraft, especially when you had one of the Toastmasters, Geeta, if I remember right, the audio was a bit scratchy, I couldn't hear much. For some who wanted to give a speech and he was a bit confused whether it should be a Toastmaster-like speech or it should be just a casual one-on-one speech. And the way you handled it and you gave confidence to that person was all something to be very proud of yourself. And for me, it was something that a leader who had all the skills and ability to make this a reality. And I'm sure you should have got back some kind of a revenue back to the club where you have been representing for a very long time. Having said this, what is it you could do to improve? This is nothing much, maybe a couple of humor, but what I felt was that your hand was always above your waist. Maybe you could drop it a couple of times. That could have been a more, what could I say, a more confident way of handling the situation. Otherwise, it was a well-organized speech and I really enjoyed it. Your skill as a timer, as a implement, it was well done. And I really appreciate for the effort that you have taken. Thank you very much. And back to General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Srikanth. Moving on to our next speaker, we had Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, and his speech will be evaluated by Toastmaster Nanda. To say a few words about him, he's working at Cisco as a technical lead, and he's a secretary of a club as well. So, Toastmaster Nanda, it would be nice if we could switch over. So, handing over the control to you.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Wear a helmet. That was a clear message the speaker, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, shared with us. I love the aspect that he did a detailed research on helmets, how to wear a helmet, what are the different components of it, and what are the different security aspects of it, and what are the different kinds of models, and what are the quality parameters to buy a helmet. It is a well-researched, well-detailed topic, and he did a deep research on it. Another aspect which I like very much in his speech is like he started with the person and what was the impact about it on his friends and on his family. So that connected well to the topic right at the start, and we could understand the impact of not wearing helmet, and then he went about telling aspects of helmet. So the emotional connect was very well done. If I could say a few aspects which could take his speech to the next level, I would definitely say that add a bit of voice modulation. His speech had a lot of elements where the initial topic about his friend's met with accident, and also the finishing touch where his colleague skidded on the scooter and got hit on the jaws. Maybe he could have slowed down his voice a little bit, add more emotional depth to the voice, add more pauses. This way, he could establish a deep emotional feeling inside the audience. That would have been great. Another aspect was he came in with the prop, which is helmet. He showed that different components of helmet, but then he was like tucking the helmet for the right to the end of the speech on his under his elbow. It was a bit of a not a thing, not an ideal practice. So maybe you could just introduce the prop and just say about it, and then keep the prop away and use your hands and body language to share more experience. So if you are holding it a prop to end of the speech, it doesn't give a great exposure or a positive body language to the audience. Overall, also the proper usage of prop, I'm sure your next speech will be awesome. All the best, Ashwin area. Looking forward to your next speech. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nanda, for your evaluation. Now, next, I'll be going back to my first team, whom I mentioned in the first half of the meeting. Anyway, okay, all right, sorry, I got confused, the echoes out here. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Nanda. Now, I'd like to call upon our tag team, whom I introduced in the first half of the meeting. So our timer for today was Toastmaster Neha, and I would like to call her up to share her report.
We started the meeting at around 4:10 with Toastmaster Geeta. Toastmaster Geeta started with 1 minute and 30 seconds, and then we had Toastmaster Abhilash as the presiding officer. He took around 1 minute 30 seconds, and then it was passed on to the Toastmaster of the day, who took 4 minutes and 22 seconds to introduce the meeting. And then we had the general evaluator come and introduce to us about the evaluation procedures. She took around 2 minutes, and then we had Toastmaster Prashanti, who told us the code. She took Toastmaster Venu, prepared speech. He took around 7 minutes. Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayanan, he took around 6 minutes and 50 seconds. Then we went into the table topic session, where Toastmaster Jimmy was the first speaker, seconds. Toastmaster Sharanya, she took around 50 seconds. Toastmaster Neena John, ma'am, she took around 1 minute 30 seconds. Toastmaster Shrikant, he took around 1 minute and 15 seconds. Toastmaster Ranju, around 1 minute and 30 seconds. We had guest Rohit from the physical meeting. He took around 1 minute and 25 seconds. Toastmaster Aishwarya started an evaluation session. She took around 50 seconds for introducing. Toastmaster Shrikant, he took around 2 minutes and 50 seconds to evaluate Mr. Venu's speech. Toastmaster
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Neha, for your timer report. Now I would like to call upon our art counter, Toastmaster Tarun, to share your art counter report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Now I'll be sharing my report. Toastmaster Prashanti took more than 3 pauses. Toastmaster Venu took more than 3 pauses. Toastmaster Vignesh also took more than 3 pauses. Jimmy Patros also took more than 3 pauses. Guest Saranya also took more than 3 pauses. Toastmaster Ranju also took 2 pauses. I myself took more than 3 pauses when I introduced myself. The rest, all the Toastmasters and guests, you all nailed the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tarun. I think there is, yeah, they have.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tarun, for providing us with your R-County report. Moving on to the grammarian report, I'd like to call upon DTM Nina John to share her report.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Since we had audio problems, host, can you mute all the other audios, please? Thank you. Since we had audio problems throughout, what I've been doing is whatever I could catch, I have done it. So first, usages that could be improved rather than scaring about, I would say being afraid of, couldn't be able to, was not able to, can be participate, could be can participate, and have awareness, have aware of, should have been have awareness of. Necessary of a leader, I would say necessary for a leader, and better usage of conceived a plan, I would say conceptualized the idea. Phrases that I liked: multiple fractures, attitude of gratitude, and bad blood is quite a nice alliterative phrase. So the word technology was used most often by our TT master, whose entire theme was very happily, as far as I was concerned, based on technology itself. So great to have a hybrid meeting with technology being employed. And let me hand it back to Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, for providing us the grammarian report. With this, before I could hand over the control to the TM Modi, I would like to say my general evaluator report. So actually, we faced quite a few tech issues over here, as well as with the audio, which I faced right now, and that's the reason you might find me sweating. So otherwise, like the welcoming of the audience in the physical meeting and as well as in the Zoom meeting was very well done by our SAA Toastmaster Geeta. So the opening was powerful. Although we had few tech issues, although we kind of managed it by connecting through various mobile devices and Bluetooth speakers and whatnot. So kudos to the XCOM team who are present over here at the physical meeting. So thank you all so much. Now coming to the prepared speech session, we had 2 speakers. Toastmaster Venu's speech was fantabulous. Like it made me go back in offline and in online as such. So thank you so much for bringing back a memory lane for those of us who are attended through online and the people who are sitting here in a physical meeting. So made us go back to the memory lane. So thank you so much. Coming to the second speaker's speech, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana, he gave us a very well awareness of what, as to how to wear a helmet, as to what specifications we have to buy, and many such things. Now these would be a carry, we carry a moral value as such, right? So this would be a moral value for me, so that when I go back home, I can tell to my dad, under these specifications, you have to buy me a helmet. So thank you so much for that most informative speech. Coming to the TT session, it was very well fun session. Very well of a fun session, and he used the word word of the day quite many times, so kudos to that. And during that session only, we faced many audio and video issues. So otherwise, tech issues. So without much further ado, I'd like to hand over the session back to our TM Modi, Toastmaster Abhirani. Over to you.
Uh, thank you, Toastmaster Aishwarya, for the wonderful evaluation. Host requests you to spotlight me. Am I visible on screen?
See, actually, the screen is frozen.
On
There
to
is
the next piece. Yeah. So now we are almost towards the close of this session. It was a very wonderful critical evaluation from the general evaluation team. I think evaluations are very important in life, isn't it? We set a goal, we perform, and then get back the evaluations. These evaluations are not meant to be taken harshly, but they are an indicator of improvement. That's how we try to find our path in our path or in a journey of improvement. With this, let me hand over control to the presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Abhilash. Over to you, Toastmaster Abhilash.
Good evening, all. Thank you, Toastmaster Abhirami, for having conducted the session in a wonderful manner. So we did face technical issues today, but we shall definitely use technology to make this better. It was a first of a kind meeting that we tried, and I'm happy to say that we'll definitely get better from the next meeting onwards. On this note, I'm really happy to have our area director, Toastmaster Nadira, with us today. Requesting Toastmaster Nadira to address us, please.
To be here today. So, as the Pope said, in liberty of Congress, which is present in Washington, on the wall, there are 5 words which were written, which mean a huge value. Order is heaven's first law. So to bring back the law and order, they have already started their first. So kudos to the team and to all the CTM members for staying on with this. So I would like to hand over the control back to the presiding officer and wish everyone well on the next hybrid meeting as well. Thank you.
So now it is time for us to hear some feedback from our guests. So first we have our international guest, Toastmaster James. So Toastmaster James, could you just, apart from the technical issues,
Oh, can you hear me good? Is the audio good? Can you hear me good? Yeah? I'm so happy to make it to this meeting. Back in October, I visited Chennai Toastmasters. On Sunday mornings, they have 2 clubs, and they were having a joint meeting, and that was my first Indian meeting that I went to, and it was fantastic. And then I came back a little later, and I was listening to the contests, but then life got crazy, and I haven't really been able to come back until now. Although we've had people from India visit my club, and one amazing Indian member has been active in our group. And so I find watching and listening speakers from India to be fantastic, because you often have great stage presence, and you really use your bodies, and there's great theater when you speak. You use your bodies, and I think it's fantastic. And I think this is great that you're doing this hybrid thing. This is so important. And we will make mistakes with this hybrid thing. Our club has fixed a lot of our mistakes. And that's why I really want to create a kind of a hybrid video tutorial as to how we make our system work. And then I will make it so that people can watch it if they want to see it. But it was a great meeting today. I did the best I could with it. Audio was, for me, the only real issue sometimes with the audio. And if there is any kind of lag, I would suggest speaking more slowly and enunciating. In terms of video quality, I only noticed it was freezing and everything near the end. In our club, we've used as many as 3 cameras. So we have one camera that looks down one part of the room, captures everything, and the other camera looks back. And then we have a lectern view, a lectern camera. And so we've learned that the best camera to use for the lectern is actually the Zoom account laptop. That camera acts like the lectern, and that is the microphone that you rely on. So, but I have to do a tutorial on that because when people see our setup, they think it looks crazy, but it works because there are wires and everything everywhere. In your meeting that you had today in that room, if someone was there with a smartphone and they want to be online but also in the meeting, they could do that, but they'd have to wear this. And you would notice that there's a 1 second time delay because Zoom uses like a 1 second delay to cancel out echo cancellation. So the reality is, this is not the reality. When you're in the room, you can have this plugged in, but you don't listen to it. You have to be if you're in the room, you're in the room. But if you have your smartphone, you need to have this plugged into your phone. Otherwise, even if you say mute microphone, even if you turn the volume all the way down, the sound card in the Zoom laptop, the main account, it cannot separate if you have multiple microphones in the room, you see? You have to, wherever the main account, where the host is, that is the microphone in that room. So anyways, I'm so happy to be here, and if you have any questions, definitely ask me. What we did in our club was we would have like 8 people online, 8 people in the room, and the people who were online, the timer would always be online. And we use the virtual background for the timing. So let me give you an example of what we do. This is what we do for our timing. When you have the green light, you get this. And the reason why you see the letter G is because some people may be colorblind. And then if you have yellow, red, if you go overtime, if you go 30 seconds into the red, you get this. And the Klingons will board the ship. And of course, if there are any other issues, there's all kinds of things that we use, or like this. And so we find that when we project it on the big screen in the room, the people in the room can see the timer, and the people online can see the timer. Because if the timer is in the room holding a little card or a little light, it becomes a problem. So that is some of the things that we do. And also
Very
the micro.
insightful learnings, Dr. James. I'm sure. Great.
I hope you were able to
Definitely.
hear me.
Thank you, Toastmaster James. So we have a couple of physical guests as well, so we would like to hear from them. Please. All right. Please come on. You just sit in.
Hello, friends. Since the arrival of COVID, I have stopped visiting my friends, families, relatives, because I work in a area where it is more prone to infection, so I have to restrict myself. It's been very long since I've been a guest somewhere. This is after a long time I've been here as a guest, even though I'm not invited, but I'm happy for that. On the very first day here, I see a lot of chaos going around with these technologies. Amidst the Silicon era, with the advent of all of these technologies, we still cannot replace the effectiveness of the soulful face-to-face interactions. Okay, but still I'm happy because amidst all these tensions, you managed to give me a warm smile. Actually, I've been praying for months for that because with this COVID, we have started video conferences that we stopped seeing real faces. I've been trying to figure out what actually happens here, but with this all these things, I cannot figure it out. I think some of you should give me some time to make it understand. But I have a confidence that someday I will belong in here, the part of your team, working together with you towards something much bigger than this. Thank you.
Thank you. You're most welcome to join us here. So, due to certain technical issues, we'll be posting the results of the poll in our WhatsApp group, and the certificate will be issued later. So, I thank all our members via Zoom as well as through physical mode for having attended today's meeting. And on this mode, I would like to adjourn meeting number 766 to next week, same time. We'll now have a group photo. Request everyone to switch on your camera together.
That's really nostalgic to have the group photo at YWCA. Nice to see everybody. Nadira, you're covering somebody in the back.
So is there anyone in the XCOM who is able to take the photo, like a screenshot? Toastmaster Jimmy?
I'll do that.
Can we have a confirmation from the XCOM who's online? Can we?
Nadira, I'll do that.
Who's doing it?
Toastmaster Nadira, can you hear us?
Very good.
Hi, CTM.
CTM.
Woohoo!
Who was that behind Nanda who suddenly popped up? I don't know if you're Sherlyn, you're not in the picture. Okay. Not sure.
Just print screen here now. That's fine. I took a take. It's okay, okay.
Please let us know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh my God, my arms start pain.
That's a lot of people there. Oh, I did not realize there was that many people. Oh my God. That was amazing.
Okay, so are you turning the Zoom off? Abhilash? Are you turning the Zoom off? Or are we interacting over here for some time?
I think we can interact in here.
Right. So welcome to the
I think
guests.
we got to announce the port result as well, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know a few clubs that have been started a few months ago, the hybrid type meetings. And so we're thinking of trying to create a Facebook group that is all about logistics. So all the hybrid clubs can connect like a hub and help
Right.
each other. That would be a smart thing.
I know, it makes a lot of sense. I think you just posted the official group and then people will join up.
Yeah, yeah. And we have about 3 or 4 that have been doing it for a while now. So we would be the founding people that will get it started. and then other people can join.
We have some other guests also. There was one more guest from Canada or Vancouver, Ellen,
Yeah,
I think.
Nancy. She didn't.
Nancy.
She didn't want to turn her camera on, and I don't know if she fell asleep because I
It's
didn't
4
see.
a.m. in the morning.
I sent her a message and she didn't respond, so she might be sleeping.
4 a.m. over there.
4:30 a.m. I guess I will sleep soon too. I'm a night person, so someone. I love being a night hawk. But someone recently said to me, "Can you help with a contest, Sergeant at Arms, Saturday, 9 a.m.?" And I said, I'm not a morning person."
At all, yeah. James, quick question though. Are you a Trekkie? I mean, do you enjoy Star Trek?
Oh God, I like I love the questions for table topics today. I thought it was fascinating, and I've been watching what's been happening with Mars. Yeah, no, I like Star Trek. I love Star Wars and all that. I love dinosaurs. I love spaceships.
No, because you brought in the Klingon thing. That was like, ooh, somebody talked about Klingon.
Well, that background I use. That's actually from Star Wars. No, Star Trek. That's the red alert on the Enterprise. Red alert.
I was thinking something else.
So sometimes when people go over time, oh my God, it's terrible. So what I do is, what we do is we use the red alert, and so we go like this. And we go off screen so that you can do it, and we want the Klingons are boarding.
Yeah.
That is one idea we should copy.
Yeah, I just find that using the virtual background is a great way. Like for our big District 21 contests, we use virtual background for timing, and we find it very effective. Also, we started doing the online group. We started that in the spring of 2019 because our club, we wanted to, it was my vision for a more international group. And that was before COVID. We were around a year before COVID. And then when COVID happened, the group went much bigger, on the international side. But yeah, I mean, you learn I find the best way to learn is by making mistakes. And you can read all the books sometimes, but it won't go in your brain unless you actually do it.
Right.
Can I interrupt a bit to announce the result of the day? And
please, sorry.
Yeah, it was done at the physical meeting. So we have our best quote and idiom master, the quote master, Toastmaster Prashanti is the best performer. And among the timer, counter, and grammarian, it is a tie between the timer and grammarian.
Two thumbs up.
And Toastmaster Neha. Congratulations. We have Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana as the best speaker today. Toastmaster Shrikant as the best evaluator. Best role player is Toastmaster Abhirami and Toastmaster Vignesh. It's again a tie.
Okay, again tie.
And the best TT speaker is Toastmaster James Falcon. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Congrats, James.
Oh, congratulations, James.
That's
Wow.
not bad for 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh God.
How would you say congrats in Klingon? Who smells like Klingon?
All I know is, yeah. I went. Oh, I think one time someone told me if you say Ajak means fire or attack. You know, there is a dictionary you can get for the Klingon language.
I believe
oh my
so.
God.
I believe so. Crazy.
But you can speak anything you want because nobody else knows Klingon around you, so it's pretty much okay.
You can make it. You can make
it.
up.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can, please. You know, the only problem is this time of the year, Canada changes its hours for winter time, so which means that it makes it an hour later for India. I don't think you change your times, so
Yeah, we don't.
It will be like 12:30 or 1:30 in the morning, Monday morning, that you would be on, because we would be 11 a.m. Vancouver Sunday. So not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So I invite you to come to be as a honored guest, and if you love it, you can always come back and do roles. You know, you're always welcome to do roles.
Excellent.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ina ma'am, great to see you. Great to see everyone back.
I know. Good to see you too.
Thank you. I was taken a bit. I read the message. Okay, we have a meeting today, and I did not read that there is a in-person physical meeting also.
Okay.
I did not read it. I was like, whoa, wait. That's like about at 12:30 or 2 or something like 1 o'clock, just on my lunch table. I was like, oh crap, I missed it. I should have been there.
I've still registered and gone. Not a very big deal. Yeah.
No, I have something else that was there at about 2 p.m. So I had to get stuck with that for some time.
Is this the first time that you really tried, or did you do it before?
Yes, this is the very first.
Wow.
The first time.
Yeah.
Very first non-online meeting.
One experiment you could do next time, because I think the reason why there was I think it was network issue. I don't think it was bandwidth with Zoom, because Zoom has made huge improvements. So I was thinking that where the room is, they might have had a lower internet issue. So my suggestion was, next time as an experiment, ask everyone to minimize, let me think. Yeah, maybe turn off all the cameras except for the speaker, and just see if there's, or the room, and see if there's any difference. If there's no difference, then you might as well turn your cameras on.
And Jimmy,
we had turned it all off today. Otherwise, we normally have it. Yeah.
Sorry. No. And Jimmy, when you, were you there in the venue today?
No, I was attending online.
Okay, understood. No, just a quick feedback on the venue itself, because the person who was speaking, so you need to have a lot of carpets around on the floor, because otherwise the echo is going to be really overwhelming. So you need to reduce the echo. The acoustics call you to have a lot of carpets around. As much as, try to put the people together and have the carpeting done. So the echoes will, otherwise they just ruin everything. Even in my room here, I'll tell you, if I stand on the other side, you'll hear 2-3 people speak at the same time. So I've had to learn by these things and carpet the entire room and stuff like that. So just a quick suggestion on that one. That's about it.
In fact, this is not actually our routine venue, which is YWC.
Okay.
This is a Hotel Palm Shore.
No, Jimmy. They cancelled Palm Shore. It is YWCA.
It was YWCA.
So you would recommend a carpeted room because it's a more sound dampening in a carpeted room?
Absolutely.
Okay,
So what you
that's
need to
good
understand
know.
is, when you speak, your sound goes like a wave. It hits the surface, and either it'll come back or it'll be absorbed. Now, carpet is an absorbing absorbing material. I've been talking about software all morning. So what happens is, the thicker the carpet, the better the possibility of the sound being absorbed. But also care must be taken that you have air conditioning in the room. Otherwise, it's going to be sweaty also, but the sound also won't be there. So there is a certain of a vice over there. That's something I didn't realize. So I was sweating in my first webinar. I was like, why am I sweating? What's happening? Sound is clear, but sweat is also very clear. So I had to install one of my ACs. And my wife was not very happy about it. She was like, your acoustics are good, but why the AC?
Yeah, in our club, when we meet in the library room, we have carpeting, so
Carpeting,
that
exactly.
helps. But one thing I learned was that you know how they say eye contact is very important.
Important, exactly.
Also, the microphone contact. In other words, for example, if you're talking to the audience and you look this way and you're speaking, your voice can go down 20%, just because you're not looking. Your mouth is not towards the microphone.
And that is why I suggest people to buy these kind of microphones for any specific impact meetings where no matter where you speak, your microphone is always attached to your mouth. And this is a pretty expensive microphone in India, by the way. So not trying to show off, but this is an investment in making your presentations more impactful, because that's what you're there for.
Yeah, some people use the Bluetooth
No,
if they want
that's
to
a big
stand.
no. I've
No?
done one or two webinars and I've made a big mess out of it. I felt very
Okay.
sorry for the participants, because all they could hear was wah 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 wah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, that's a big no. Unless of course you have one very powerful Bluetooth, something which is used for NASA or something like that, which I think is going to be very rare. But otherwise, no. Bluetooth is an absolute no in any webinar, whether you're doing it from home or you're doing it in a very professional venue.
Yeah. It's hard to get used to people having things on their heads sometimes, like especially if they're doing like international speech. It's always I'm right now I'm standing like, and it's okay, I guess, because but with people with big things.
You see, unless you're using those earpods from Apple, which are very very powerful receivers. So that's something very close to space age, very close, not exactly space age, but very close. But unless in India they cost you like 15,000 rupees, which is a big cost here.
It is, yeah. I have not.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, go on.
I have not gotten those yet. I like to wait on the technology, like wait till it's a year or two old, or maybe because the technology changes so quickly. I used to chase technology, but now I don't.
No, I do well with these. These were given to me from my previous employer, and I left the job, or let's say I was laid off. I want to put it in a very positive way. And then I bought these on my own. I was like, I have to have these. There's no way.
And you have a cable, yes? You have a cable.
It's a connected one. It's a connected one.
Good.
It's a USB microphone. It's not one of these 3.5 mm jacks. So USB works very well with it really improves the impact on your voice when you start talking in webinars like this.
Yeah. The one thing I learned too is in the contests where you have a lot of time where people are waiting for the ballot counters to count things, so things get quiet, and that's the only time people say they hear noise coming from me. And you know what that is? It's the fan of the laptop. That doesn't happen when I have this on, but if I'm using the microphone from the laptop, the sound from the computer gets louder and louder and louder because no one's talking.
Exactly. So
I learned.
Yeah. So the other thing is, I'm not sure.
Sorry to interrupt. I just have to leave now. So bye, Iqbal.
Bye, Nina. Bye. Thank you. Sorry to keep you waiting. Sorry.
No problem. Thanks, James. Wonderful having you.
I will go too. I will go to sleep. it's almost 5 a.m.
5 a.m. I know.
Right. Have a good morning then instead of a good night.
Take care, everyone, and I hope to see you in the future.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, James. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Jimmy. I'm gonna take off. I think we've most. It's been a great session. So all the very best.
It's been a learning session for us. So I will.
Absolutely. Jimmy, just a quick request from my side. I'm kind of volunteering here. See, I have a background in film and television. So if you guys really need my help in setting up all the acoustics, from a tech standpoint, please let me know. I will be most welcome to make myself available. But only because I want my contribution to create the enhance the quality of our sessions. So please let me know. I will be able to. But please let me know like about 24 to 48 hours earlier so I can make myself available.
Sure. We'll do that. We'll connect and we'll discuss more on this.
All right. Thank you.
Are you on the WhatsApp group?
I am on the CTM WhatsApp group. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to connect with you on something else.
Sure,
So
sure,
we
please.
I'll do that offline.
Not a
All
problem.
right.
Not a, you're most welcome.
Thanks, Iqbal. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Jimmy.
Take care, everyone. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Jimmy. Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye. Bye, ma'am.